Alrighty, excited to be here. Baseball season is here. The last 3 weeks we've been preparing. Guys have looked good. You know, I think on the mound, obviously we're looking for guys attacking the zone, and I think having a little bit of experience there with a guy like Hank Christie has really set the tone for our team. Sam Lawrence as well has looked good, and the guys have gone out and really just put their work in, and that's what I'm excited about this team. I think we have some professional, just a professional approach about themselves, and it's been good. And then when you go on the position player side, with 6 to 7 returners, same thing. They've been really solid, and it's been fun to watch, and now we get to see a different different color uniform, and excited to get going out in Arizona. So, any questions?
Coach Joe, let's start off with talking about last year's team. Joe Hoscheit and Matt Hoffner, two of the best hitters, not only on the team, but in the whole conference last year. Tough guys to replace. Do you see anyone stepping up and taking those thoughts pretty well this year?
Yeah, we've tried to take that question really head on, and we talked about it from day one, really, and it's not going to be one person that's going to take it. I think we have a chance to be more competitive 1 through 9. We have a little bit more team speed, which I'm excited about. And again, I think when you look back at guys like Joe and Matt, and Matt had some success, but Joe, I think was a career 270, though Joe always had power, and that's something that, again, we're going to look to replace 1 through 9, not just with one person. But it'll be fun just watching to see who does step up.
Go ahead. No, it's all you. What's the most difficult part about the beginning of the season? Hardest thing to figure out?
Yeah, I think the unknowns. I mean, I think when you're trying to figure out what some of the first year guys are going to do, and again, I think in college sports you can look year after year. There's nothing guaranteed. I mean, we have our whole infield back. We have, like I said, those 6, 7 starters back, but there's just no guarantees. And so I think that's the hard thing. Just not knowing exactly, and then trying to figure out roles pitching wise. Who can. Who has the temperament to pitch at the end of the game, who has and then the ability to, the stuff and the composure, all of those things. And then just each team is a little bit different, and trying to figure out what makes this team tick. I think those are just a couple of things to name a few that make the beginning of the year, and maybe not getting fly balls. Maybe those 3 things. So.
Coach, what are your goals, especially early on in the season? You set a schedule going down to Arizona, open up with a pretty good Omaha team, and then going on the road to Kansas and Texas. So what are you looking out of this group for these first couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think just consistent play. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for us is just having the ability to go out. I think this team has seen, a majority of this team has seen what it needs to look like, and so can we find that team earlier? And then again, the biggest thing is just to be tested with the team. Nebraska Omaha is going to have a ton of junior college players who they're experienced, and they're oftentimes aggressive, and they don't care who we are as far as being a Big Ten team. They're just going to go out and play. And then obviously Kansas, we have a chance to face a first-round guy on Friday. That's a lot of fun, and I'm sure Texas has about 6 or 7 guys that are going to be very, very talented. So both the talent that we'll see, as well as seeing the atmosphere, at places like Texas, is just going to be fun to see how we handle it. So I think when you talk about the goals, it's really just going to be, hey, can we see consistent play in all 3 of those types of atmospheres?
You mentioned some of the seniors you guys lost last year. From a leadership perspective, who have been the guys kind of stepping up in terms of mentoring some of the first years?
Yeah, I think you look at Jack Dunn. I think Jack has really done a good job as far as leading. You look on the pitching staff side, Tommy Bordillon as a senior, Rich Forden. Really, and it's funny even looking at last year, it's like who are our leaders? We just had leaders in different ways. We had the vocal guy. We had the guy that, stepped up and got the big hit. So I think really not trying to dive too much into it as far as who's going to lead, and not restricting anybody. A lot of times it's behind the scenes. Us as coaches don't even see the leadership that takes place. But, again, a Jack Clays, a Connor Lynn's, guys that have had a lot of college at-bats, looking for those guys to really play a big role, especially early on for us.
Coach, looking at the pitching side, you got a lot of guys with not much experience who are going to be starting games pretty soon. What do you tell to those guys going out there making the first or just making their first few college starts?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing is just understanding that they're not alone. They don't have to go out and throw a no-hitter. We have a lot of options. I think the depth as far as options that we have are really it's exciting, really for this club. And so I think just really trusting in the whole team. They talk about family every time they break the huddle, and trusting that, hey, if they don't have their best stuff that day, that the rest of their family can pick them up.
And another year that you guys have WNUR calling all the games. Can you talk about that experience last year and what you're looking forward to having them on board again this year?
I can't say enough. I mean, it's a great experience, really for everybody involved. Myself, it's a lot of fun, and I know fans back home, parents, relatives. Really enjoy it, and then our players. I mean, just it really helps them going through the process, going through a pregame interview, going through a postgame interview, all of those things. It just has really helped elevate our program. So we're excited about the coverage again this year.
Who are some returners you expect to sort of make the jump or to lead to the next level?
Yeah, Leo Kaplan is a name. He's had a really good spring. He's again at the end of the year was pretty hot. Again, looking for consistency out of him. And then I think when you're talking about the pitching staff, I don't think we've seen the best of Tommy Bordion, and J.R. Reimer is another guy who's just thrown the ball really, really well and has had some experience, but he could be a guy that late in games could be closing down games for us. And so I think those are a couple just to name two as far as returners who maybe got a little bit of action, 7, 8, 9 hole hitters to maybe bump up a little bit and play a bigger role for us, both on the hitting, offensive side and pitching side.
You guys obviously made that big run to the Big Ten championship last year, but Baseball America has you guys projected to move on for the conference.
Yeah.
Is that a source of motivation, or do you guys feel like you need to earn your respect, basically?
No, I mean, I don't think it's again. There's a lot of questions, and so I mean, I think it's always a little bit of a source of motivation. But I think every year there's 3 or 4 teams that are wrong, and so we just don't pay a lot of attention to it. Baseball is a tricky game, and we prove that you can play good baseball late and be in the mix late up until the final game. So I don't think we pay it a lot of attention to it. Our guys, again, they just want to go out and play and prove some people wrong, but really just go out and play the game. So.
Where does opening day rank for you in terms of your favorite days of the year?
Well, let's see. I think it's Christmas is number one, and then no. I mean, it's a lot of fun. I mean, the excitement, just getting on the plane, I think is a lot of fun, and really just for the guys, having an opportunity just to see them. It's a long summer, it's a long fall into the winter, and it's just fun to get out there and watch them, go perform, and that's really, what we plan to do. But it's definitely up in the top 5 for sure.